Recapture your lost money through Infinite Banking. Did you know that the moment you set up your Infinite Banking, you start making money right away? Your life becomes better when your journey becomes your destination and you start enjoying the process because you see your money growing right away. And at the bottom of this whole equation lies one word: recapture. When you recapture all the interest that you are paying to your creditors, your life becomes better without changing your lifestyle. Hi, I'm Sunny Mitra, founder of Bright Horizon Wealth. We teach entrepreneurs and go-getters like you how to own their financial future with the concept of infinite banking. If you are new here, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notifications bell so that you are notified when we upload new videos. There are basically two ways that you can see your money grow with the infinite banking concept. Number one, growing it in the future. Number two, growing it now. First, we are going to talk about the growth in the future. There are a lot of misconceptions about infinite banking, and people always ask me, Sunny, I opened a whole life insurance policy some 10 years ago, but why don't I see the growth the way I expected it in an infinite banking? So the answer to that is, starting with a whole life insurance policy is only half of the job. Unless you add the infinite banking concept into it, you are not going to see the growth as expected. Even though most of the whole life insurance policies pay a very good rate of interest, and some mutual life insurance companies even go one step ahead of it, and on the top of the interest, you also have a chance to get a dividend check at the end of the year. But if you just open a plain vanilla whole life insurance policy without considering a lot of factors like whether you are going with the stock company or a mutual life insurance company, because with stock life insurance companies you are not going to get a dividend check at the end of the year. You also need to see how old the company is and what is the payment history, how solid is their financial background, etc. So these are some points that you need to consider before getting into a whole life insurance policy. But again, till this point, you have only come half the way by opening a life insurance policy, and you are still a long way from seeing your money grow. Now let's talk about the growth in the present tense. If you have been following our videos, you know that we do things a little bit differently because we use infinite banking through our whole life insurance policies to tackle our financial expenses. But as I said, just opening a whole life insurance policy is not enough. You will have to add the secret sauce into it to see the real growth happening. So what is the secret sauce? That is to recapture your lost interest. In fact, the secret of infinite banking can be summed up in two simple words: recapture and reinvest. Let me tell you a real life story of a couple that started making 24% interest from the first month. This couple had a $6,000 debt on their Amazon credit card, which was charging them 29% interest. After learning about infinite banking, they asked this question to themselves: why not use our whole life insurance policy in that place and pay ourselves back the principal and interest? So they opened a whole life insurance policy, put down $10,000 into it as an annual premium, and then the very next month they turned around and took out a $6,000 loan from the policy at the rate of 5% interest. Guess what they just did? By taking out a loan from their policy, they converted their whole life insurance policy into their own family bank. So once again, the first half was to open a whole life policy, and the second half, which they just completed, was to implement the infinite banking ingredient into it by using it as your own source of lending. By using it as their own creditor, and as the rest of the story goes, they took that $6,000, went ahead and paid off that Amazon credit card. Now, as you can see, what they just did was getting rid of the 29% interest which they were paying to Amazon. Now they are paying only 5% interest to their insurance policy, can you see how they just saved themselves 24% of extra annual interest that they were paying to their credit card? If you calculate 24% interest on $6,000, it comes down to $1,440 a year. In other words, they saved themselves $1,440 annually, which they were throwing away before. Can you see the regular progression as to how did you start making money right away without changing your lifestyle? As the old proverb goes, a penny saved is a penny earned. But wait, that's not all. Now they will have to add the secret sauce into it in order to come to full circle and using the infinite banking concept here 100%. And what is the secret sauce? I remember, as we talked about, it is to recapture your lost money through infinite banking. So what they did was they kept on making the monthly payment to their loan along with the interest and the principal that they were paying before to the Amazon credit card. In other words, instead of buying another fancy computer, they infused that $1,440 interest back into the system. But the only difference is now they are recapturing that interest which was leaving their portfolio before. Yes, they were paying it back into their own family bank. So instead of obtaining loans through financial institutions, they use their policy to obtain loans that way and then pay themselves back the money. So they keep the principal and the interest that they would have paid to the bank otherwise. So during this video, we hope that we provided value to you by showing how you can plan the same way my friend's family did. Leave a comment below with your experiences regarding your debt, and if you want to learn how you can use your whole life insurance to tackle other debts, use the link below to see exactly how we use infinite banking to pay off our credit card or other debts. You can use whole life insurance policy to pay for anything under the sun regarding your expenses. All you have to do is treat yourself the exact same way you would a credit card, line of credit, personal loans, student loan debts, whatever it is. All you are doing is just changing the direction in which the money is going. So again, remember, regardless if you have any debts now or you are planning on taking on some loans, we can help you create a plan where you are either taking it over now or building up a plan where you can pay for it in the future. And if you are thinking about using your policy to finance other things, we have created a free guide called Financial Security from Coronavirus, where we share different ideas on how you can utilize your whole life insurance policy. So definitely check out the link below to download your free copy. If you like this video, let us know by liking it and leaving a comment for us. Make sure you share with a friend and subscribe to our channel. And remember, own your tomorrow by converting liabilities into assets.